Good day, everyone. I'm here to discuss the Module 5 Threats in Biodiversity. Um, so, for the introduction, the Philippines, as one of the world's 18 megadiverse countries and a major biodiversity hotspot, hosts of 1,294 terrestrial vertebrates with 15 to 23% at risk of extinction, particularly amphibians and mammals. This exceptional richness supports critical ecosystem services like fisheries, tourism, and disaster mitigation. However, escalating human activities have intensified threats, leading to profound ecological disruption. Biodiversity hotspots regions with high endemism and species diversity like the Philippines prioritize for conservation due to severe threats. We are totally vulnerable na. Especially sa Philippines are uso yung mining, yeah. In Batangas, kikita mo doon yung mga bundok is totally na ano na siya, kinalbo na yung mga bundok, dinigrade na, inano yung mga, sa ano, nilaslas daw, nilaslas ba yung term? Yan, nilaslas na yung bundok. So, grabe yung effect nun. Not only to that area, but to the whole, ano na, to the whole Batangas, especially yung Verde Island Passage kasi malapit lang doon sa Verde Island Passage yung binabakbak na bundok. It can affect the water current, yung mga debris pwedeng mapunta doon sa dagat kung may mga element doon na or kung meron doon mercury or chemicals na pwedeng makasira o sira na yung Verde Island Passage. The uh, one of the treasure that our country have is Verde Island Passage, no? Dapat we should protect it, no? Our forest. Sa Bicol naman, sa may Sipokot, ang treasure naman natin is the Bicol National Park, no? 'Yun. Sunod, yun yung mga lugar na dapat protektahan natin kasi hindi pa siya masyadong sira, no? Dapat protektahan 'yan. Okay? So this pressure not only deplete species but also impair ecosystem functionality from carbon storage to water regulation as outlined in the Philippine Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan. I have sent this to the Google Classroom. You just have to read it. I have posted it already. Kasama nung other resources. Habitat reduction and fragmentation driven by urban expansion, logging and agriculture represent the foremost threat, reducing forest cover from 21 million hectares in the early 1900s to approximately 7.22 million hectares today, or about 20% of the land area. This loss isolates population, hindering migration and genetic exchange, and heightens vulnerability for species like the Philippine eagle. Habitat reduction, the conversion of natural areas to human uses, shrinking available living spaces, yeah, nagsasalit itong mga habitat ng mga native species, yan. Habitat fragmentation, yung nagkakaigwang patches, nagkakaroon ng patches sa sarong forest. May part na katong forest is kalbo na, may part na mayo na nagpo-cause ning disruption sa ecosystem katong lugar. There, modern agricultural practices contribute significantly to habitat loss by transforming diverse forests into intensive farmlands, particularly in regions like Mindanao for palm oil and rice. This method involved heavy tillage and irrigation. Yon. Sinisira ng modern agriculture causes destruction of the ecosystem kasi mas piniprefer nila ang monoculture, no? Yung mga rice fields na sana ah, pwede pa yan mabago, no? Sa course nyo, agroforestry. The the balance between agriculture and ecosystem. Yan. Um, yeah. We have modern agricultural practices, high input farming focus on productivity, often through mechanization and chemical use. This cause the sisira yung chemical, ah, yung pH ng soil, yung mga chemical components na raraot pag nilalagan ng mga chemicals. Especially yung mga chemicals na nakaka-disrupt talaga sa nitrogen cycle or etc. Monoculture, large-scale planting, often single crops, which erode soil health and invites pest invasion, ultimately weakening pollination and biodiversity-dependent services across ecosystem. Cultivar selection in Philippine agriculture prioritize high-yield varieties, sidelining native strain and reducing genetic diversity in crops like bananas and rice. This homogenization makes system more susceptible to disease and environmental stresses. Cultivar selection, breeding, and deployment of uniform crops types for economic traits, diminishing varietal richness. Consequently, genetic erosion, the decline in genetic variability, impairing adaptive capacity and cascading to wild relatives, thus destabilizing ecosystem, resilience, and food security. Hmm. Genetic erosion is caused by it's not selfing. Yung pagmimate ng ng single, yung mag-related organisms, no? Na magkakapamilya na lang na wala nang new genes na pwedeng magpabago nung nung alleles ng mga plants or animals. Kaya nagko-cause ng genetic erosion. For example, yung sa hemophilia, it was caused by inbreeding, no? Inbreeding can cause genetic erosion also, no? For example, in seaweeds, yung Philippines is one of the countries that produce seaweeds, and one of the prime maneuvers of our economy is seaweeds. No, kita kayan. Ang problema na mga scientists and the seaweed farmer is prone na siya sa ice disease or other diseases na na due to sa decline in genetic variability kasi ang propagules kang mga seaweeds is hali lang sa sarong lang sa sarong parent lang yan pa lang then na nagkaigwa ng other genes na pwede pang magpabago para maging pa siya maging siya sa maging maging immune sa disease or maka-adapt siya sa environment, no? Kaya yon. Kaya nagkakaproblema na ang Department of Agriculture, especially the seaweed farming sector, no? Dahil diyan, baka ngunyan may mag-ayos na. No, another is sa human naman is the royal family, no? Um, yung belief kasi na to make a pure blood royal ay nagpasira nung genes nila, which actually nag-cause nung pag-deteriorate ng genes nila. Kaya ang iba may mga nagkagawang disability, no? Yun yung naging problema. One of the best is to yan, to look for a partner na DECA-related para maayos ang genes or yung magpa-consult ka doon sa Chinese na si Jiang Yuhi yata, yung Chinese yon na embryologist, geneticist yata siya. Yeah. Pwede ka magpa-genetical engineer kang aki mo para ma-ensure na din na mapasa itong mga detrimental genes to ensure na okay itong aki pagdakula. Hmm? Yun naging problem nila, no? But actually I believe that their ancestor has actually a good genes, no? Magugayon ka ng genes kasi di ka man makakalibing sa wrong country within century kung di maray ang sa imong payo, di maray di ka physically fit, no? Probably naraot lang ang genes nila due to the belief nga na to create pure blood royal. Yun to ang nakaraot lang sa indang kung sa indang ano, kung sa indang family gene pool, no? So overharvesting, encompassing illegal logging, poaching, and overfishing depletes the population with marine municipal fisheries production dropping to its lowest since 2002. Yeah. Trophic cascade alteration in food chain dynamics where predator loss lead to herbivore overabundance, vegetation shift, and overall yon. For example, pag day nagkaigong balance sa sarong ecosystem, for example, nagdakul ang mga herbivore such as deer, rabbits, yan, nagdakol, so nawaraan silang predator, ang mangyayari kayan, uh, mararaot ang ecosystem kasi ang tendency niyan is to eat uh, plants, no? Pag sige na lang silang kakan, so sige sandang dakol, tendency maubos ninda itong native plants duman, kaya nararout sa ecosystem. Is it clear? Well explained naman siya, no? Tig ano ko na siya, tig Tagalog, tag Bicol na ako, tag Bicol. Kaya I know that you already understood that concept, no? The introduction of exotic species disrupt native communities with invaders like water hyacinth clogging waterways and feral animals ravaging forests. Without natural controls, these species proliferate, outcompeting endemics. Introduction of exotic species, human-facilitated entry of non-native organisms, this foster invasive species, aggressive exotic that alter habitats, spread disease, and reduce native diversity, thereby compromising services like water purification and soil stability. Yan. Yan yung nagkakos. Pag, for example, nagdara ka ning bako man talaga duman na native na na halaman sa Bicol National Park, nagtanong ka duman na bako man pala native na halaman, may tendency itong halaman is maging ano yan, maging parasite, no? Duman sa lugar. Baka itong halaman na to is may aggressive trait. For example, ginigibo niya, may kahoy na ginigibo ang soil acidic na makakakos ng degradation duman sa lugar, magagadan sa ibang halaman. Yon yung cause yan ang downside ng pag-introduce ng exotic or non-native organism. Chemicals and heavy metals from mining, agriculture industry contaminate soil and water, bioaccumulating chains and poisoning organisms. Yeah. So I don't have to explain this because I've already explained the genetic erosion in the first slide. Yeah. So we have the key concepts. These are the key concepts. You just have to read this. No? So habitat reduction and fragmentation emerge as primary threat to Philippine biodiversity, driven by deforestation for logging, mining infrastructure. So vast tract of primary forests in regions like Palawan and Mindanao have been cleared, isolating wildlife population. This process diminishes available habitat, area disrupting ecological connectivity, essential for species migration, and gene flow. In the Philippines, where forest cover has declined to under 25% from historical levels, such as fragmentation exacerbates vulnerability for endemic species like the Philippine eagle. Fragmentation creates edge effects where boundary zone experience altered microclimates, increased invasive species incursion, and higher predation. Isolated forest patches suffer from reduction, reduced resilience, leading to local extinction. For instance, in fragmented lowland, deep, dipterocarp forests, understory birds and mammals decline rapidly due to limited foraging ranges. Agroforestry system can mitigate this by establishing corridors of diverse tree crop integration as evidenced in study showing enhanced habitat amount for biodiversity. So I don't have to 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 read this now. Just have to read this after that. Okay, these are the key concept, the summary of what I said last time, no? Yan. So, modern agricultural practices intensify pressure in Philippine biodiversity through expansive monoculture plantation of oil palm, rubber, and bananas, especially in Mindanao. This system replaced diverse ecosystem with uniform crops, depleting soil nutrients and requiring heavy inputs. In regions like Davao, conversion of grassland to plantation has eradicated native flora, disrupting food webs. Such practices prioritize yield over ecological balance, leading to widespread habitat simplification. Pesticide and fertilizer runoff from intensive farming contaminates waterways, causing eutrophication and aquatic species decline. In the Philippines, rice paddies treated with agrochemicals have led to fish kill in interconnected wetlands. Agroforestry alternatives incorporating hedge growth and intercropping reduce chemical dependency while enhancing pest regulation. Soil degradation from tillage and monocropping erodes biodiversity hotspot, particularly in upland areas. Continuous cropping cycle exhausts microbial communities, diminishing ecosystem services like nutrient cycling. Here, transitioning to sustainable practices via agroforestry yields dual benefits for productivity and conservation. Systematic reviews confirm enhanced ecosystem services in tropical agroforestry, including water regulation critical for Philippine watershed. Policy incentives for diversified farming can reverse biodiversity losses from conventional agriculture. Cultivar selection in Philippines. Agriculture favor high-yield varieties, often genetically uniform hybrids that displace traditional land races. This narrow genetic diversity in crops like rice and corn, increasing vulnerability to pest and disease. In the Cordillera region, modern rice cultivars have supplanted hundreds of indigenous strains, eroding agrobiodiversity. Uniform selection amplify outbreak risk, necessitating chemical intervention harmful to non-target species. Monoculture cultivar dominance suppresses wild relatives and associated pollinators. In coconut-dominated areas, hybrid selection reduces understory vegetation, impacting insect communities. Agroforestry incorporating diverse cultivars restore genetic pools, supporting resilient systems. Selection for yield traits ignores ecological interaction, leading to simplified agro-ecosystem. Philippine mango orchards using few clones face heightened disease susceptibility, affecting frugivorous bats. Evidence shows agroforestry with mixed cultivars enhance functional diversity and pest control. Breeding programs overlook biodiversity co-benefits, prioritizing market demands. In sugarcane, fields uniform cultivars degrade soil biota over time. Integrating traditional varieties in agroforests improve ecosystem services as mapped in low-income contexts. Promoting diverse cultivar portfolios through agroforestry counter selection, induce vulnerabilities, research synthesis, advocate for such approaches to sustain provisioning and regulating service in changing climates. Philippines can preserve genetic heritage while boosting biodiversity. So, overharvesting, timber depletion, illegal logging extract hardwood beyond regeneration, collapsing canopies for orchids and primates, fishery collapse, overfishing in Visayas depletes reefs by 70% speed, cascading to algal dominance. Yun. Kaya ang ano nila is may ano yan, may mga spawning season, yun. Tinatawag na spawning season na bawal mangisda in this certain month, no? May sinusunod silang batas to help the fishes grow, no? Para magdakol, no? Sunod to develop. So, non-timber exploitation, bushmeat pressures, and agroforestry livelihoods. So chemical and heavy metals from agriculture and mining pollute Philippines ecosystem. Bioaccumulating in food chains, pesticide in cacao farm leach into soil, impairing decomposer and nutrient cycle. In Benguet, mine tailings release arsenic and mercury, poisoning rivers and fish assemblage. Persistent toxin cause sublethal effects, reducing reproductive success across taxa. Herbicide drift eliminate non-target plants, simplifying habitats for herbivores. In banana plantation, fungicide correlate with amphibian decline. Agroforestry reduce chemical input, minimize contamination, fostering healthier soil. So this is the importance of your course, of you guys. No, you can help reduce chemical inputs, minimize contamination, and foster healthier soil. You can be able to balance ecosystem and agriculture. Yun. Global warming amplifies Philippine biodiversity threats through temperature rises, sea level changes, and extreme events. Coral bleaching in the Coral Triangle affects associated fish diversity. A plant species face range contraction as isotherms shift. Warming interacts synergistically with other stressor, accelerating losses, altered precipitation patterns, drought, stress, montane, cloud forest home to rafflesias and pitcher plants, typhoon intensification, fragments coastal mangroves, agroforestry buffers, microclimates aiding adaptation, phenological mismatch, disrupt plant pollinator synchrony in warming lowlands, coffee agroforest under shade trees, maintaining flowering stability, climate resilient design, incorporate thermal refugia, ocean acidification from CO2 emission, impair shellfish and reef boulders, mangrove agroforestry sequester carbon, mitigating emission, tropical reviews, prioritize such system for vulnerability reduction, addressing global warming necessitates agroforestry scaling for resilience. Future research identifies priorities in climate impacted agroecosystem, guiding Philippine strategies, carbon neutral farming, preserve biodiversity amid change. So, thank you for listening, guys, class, guys, mm, mga anak, yan, my little babies. Okay, thank you for listening and have a nice day.